So now you see there is a, in my windows, how do I know what window is open? So normally top left it is written, this is test review 1 Microsoft Visual Studio 2013. So if I open another window, for example, let's say this notepad, you see this notepad CIM3303 todo.txt. So it's the file name or the application name is there. So if I open this Google Chrome, it will show me at the top left what it is. So let's also do this. My form 1 has a very simple text field and I give it a name, convert inches to feet. So it's my application and its name is convert inches to feet. What it should have, let's open the toolbox first. The shortcut is Control Alt X and I see a label which should be there to help the user determine what he has to do. So there has to be a text box in front. So and then in the end there should be another label which should show the result. First label should have a value, the text value, enter inches. Okay, and then there should be a text box here. Drag and drop the text box, and there should be also a button. Somewhere over here. Okay. So I have one label with some text, label 2 with some text. I don't need this label 2 over here, so I'll just make it empty. The text should be empty. I will give it a name and then I'll use it later on. So I'll give it a name, result LBL, which means result label, and the text I'll leave it empty, nothing now, because I have to populate in my, after calculation I will do dot text is equal to this, result LBL dot text is equal to whatever the result is, and then the button text should be calculate. Anything else? I have a label over here, it has nothing right now. Let's give a name to the text box. So a text box should have name inches txt, something like this, anything which you can remember. It's for yourself. Any text inside, there's no need for, because text box is to get input from the user. So my interface is complete. Now on this calculate button, whenever the user clicks over here, we should start doing the calculation. What is the question? Let's revisit the question. The question is again, take input from user in any number, can be like 1, 2, 15, 20, 25, and I can say that those are all inches. So for clarity also I can do one more label over here. So I place a label over here so the user also knows what he's doing is he's entering a value for inches. Okay. Now let's do the calculation. First of all, what should I do? When the user clicks this button, what should I do? First of all, do what? String. Please say, no problem. Tell us. This is not a test. You can say wrong. And say yes, please. Integer conversion. So I have to convert the string into int, and I'll give it a name. Int inches is equal to. By the way, inches I accidentally gave it to this one also. Let me just delete this or change its value. Inches LPL. Okay, let's go back. Inches is equal to what? Inch txt dot text This way I can read the string, but I have to enclose this inside convert or integer dot parse, whatever I like. It's okay. So I can do integer dot int dot parse. Inside this will convert string to int. So I've got an integer what the user has entered. Now I need to do what? So the calculation is 1 feet is equal to 12 inches. So he has given me inches. To convert this into feet, I have to divide it by what? 12. Then I'll get not 10, 12. 1 feet has 12 inches. So my inch is supposed to be what? Sorry? Yes, it can be any float value, either float or decimal or double. Okay, so I'll write this. I'll declare it, sorry, double feet is equal to inches divided by 12 f. So this way I will get double value in points. This is why I'm declaring double, because I need in points. And then what? Result lbl dot text is equal to feet. Yeah, I forgot this two string. I genuinely forgot it this time. Two string, and this is in like this with brackets. So now there is no error, and I should be confident this should work. So let's see if there is some progress. I run this. I try to run this, and I see a window. It has an appropriate message: convert inches to feet, enter inches. Let's write 48, and I should get calculate 4. Okay. Let's write 40, and I should get calculate 3.33333. And let's write 100, 8.33333. Now I will also ask you in this question to format the string, not the string, format the result to show up to 2 decimal values. So it should be 2 decimal values. How can I do this? F2? C? No. C is for currency. N2? Yes. Unto. What is unto in Arabic? It means something, right? U. So 2 string N2. So I can now get the result in 2 decimal places. This is 100. Calculate 8.33. Okay, and you can do this like 500, 8. It should get all 2 decimal places. Okay. The next program, you guys understood this, right? Do you want to do this yourself? You can see the video later on when you watch for this preparation at your home. Let me move to the second question now. You understand this application, right? Do this exercise again. I'll create a new project, and the project should look like this: currency exchange. First things first, what should I do? I'll give the text this guy. I'll give the text value of this top left over here. If you don't see the properties, just right click and say go to properties. Okay. let me minimize this. Now on this application forms text, I can give it this company's name, which is Alwaha Exchange Company. Alwaha Exchange Company. And then I know I need to have some labels. Control Alt X is the shortcut to get the labels. First label should be the USD value, the second label should be the dirhams value, and then we have today's rate, and then we have a button which is calculate button, and then we have text box over here to input the USD value, and then we have a text box over here to show the dirhams value, and then we have another text box over here to show the rate, the conversion rate. So I can extend this if my text boxes are not fitting inside, or I can reduce the text box itself like this, any way I like. Okay, so now my interface is almost there. I need to just give the names and the variable names in the text. So first label should look like what? USD. Second label should look like DHS. Third label should look, let me align this. By the way, you will get some alignment and some marks for for good interface. Like this is USD and this is dirhams and this is your today's rate. So there is no alignment, you see over here. You should create a good interface, a nice interface. All the labels and text values should be aligned horizontally or vertically. You understand this? So these components are almost okay, but I now need to give name to the variables after I give the text to this button. Calculate. The text over here, the labels, sorry, the text box variable name should be USD TXT. Dirhams is DHS TXT. Today's rate TXT. Okay, my interface looks finished. I double click on the calculate button. Again, if in case by mistake you double click on the text box, you come over here. Don't write the code over here, and don't also delete this. If you delete this, you will get errors. Okay, go back and just double click on the calculate and write code in the calculate method between these two brackets. So now even if by mistake you click on the label, don't write code over here. Even if by mistake you keep clicking here and there, double click, don't write code anywhere except this calculate. Okay, so and also not delete the other methods, just let them be there if you by mistake happen to double click the other component. So in my submit calculate button, I'll write my code. Yes. Okay, it's okay. I don't need to refer this. I just double click and I come here inside my without any. I don't need to refer the button inside this. Okay, you see this is button one underscore click dot something. I don't need to do this. I know what you're saying is this guy's name I should be given button. If I don't, I you see you can give different names to all the labels also, the button also. You can. I may have shown this to you in the previous exercises, but when all you need this button is for this double click, that's all. So I'm not giving it any name because I don't need to remember that name. What name I need to remember? This one, and this one. So for convenience, I change their names to something which I can remember. So I go back to calculate, double click over here. First I need to do the conversion. USD. Okay. Now this can be double, can be int. So let's take all double. Double USD is equal to double dot parse there is no comma. I write double USD is equal to Sorry, ask your question again. USD TXT dot text. Yes, tell me, Khadija. Why? Alright, so you can do this also, yes. So you can declare first together double USD, comma, dirhams, comma, anything else but like this. But as long as you finish it by semicolon, you can do this. To declare them together, but to define them, you have to come and give values separately. And you can also give them value over here also if all of them have same values, like maybe 25. So in this case, both USD and dirhams will have 25. Now this is not relevant over here, so I will just get rid of this, or maybe comment it. Okay, so I have my USD variable, and I've just converted the text value of USD. The next thing I should do is what? Who can help me? Double the, okay, exactly, rate is equal to double dot parse rate txt dot text. Okay, so I've got the double value, the rate of the USD and the rate. Now I have to do the calculation. So double dirhams is equal to USD multiplied by rate. Okay, so now some of you may have converted this into integer. USD first of all into integer. INT over here and INT over here. If you have done this, then you may have received some error over here in the multiplication only if this term was also int. Because you are multiplying one integer with a double and you are storing the result in an int. You cannot do this. You can do the multiplication, but you have to store the result in a double. Okay, so it has to be double the result also. So I've got the result. Now I need to do the formatting. How can I do the formatting? Dirhams dot to string C. So this is my currency. Okay, so I should give this to what? Rate tx, sorry, dhs txt dot text to this text box. That's all. So let's play this now. Okay, I'll come back to this. USD is, for example, 500 and today's rate is 3.71, and you calculate, it should show you AED 1855.00. Okay, so that was it. I hope you enjoyed. So let's check first this is working the opposite. 133 and today's 3.71, and I do calculate, it should show me 35.85. Okay, now I want some changes over here. I want, when I click over here, it should show me the result over here in math.ceil. When I click over here, it should show me the result over here in math.floor. So let's go here first of all, the first button, and I need to do math.ceil. So I'll do this. Dirhams is equal to math.ceil dirhams, and now that's all. So let me do an exercise in front of you. I'll disable it just now and see the value. Can you please notice the changes now? Banat, please notice the changes. My dirhams dollars is 100 and the rate is 3.71. What should I get over here? 371.00. Okay, let's now change this to 100.5 and do calculate. Okay, so I have not done the integer. 1 second, let me just go back and do this as double. 100.5, today's rate 3.72. I calculate, I get this 373.86. This is the normal calculation. I want to change this to ceiling. When I say 373.86, then convert this round off. You know rounding off, right? 373.86 is 374 approximately. So give me 374. This is what I want to do. So this is what I did in this code. Dirham is equal to math.ceiling dirham. So I converted 373.83 to 374 directly, and then display in the string. So right now let's do the same values. 100.5, 3.72, calculate. So I get the upper, round off. So if you go on a store and it says the value of this mouse is 100.99 or 99.99, it means 100 dirhams. It is like this, right? 99.99 means 100 dirhams. So this is what you did just now. I clicked over here and I got the ceiling value. So I want to do the opposite over here. When I click here, give me the floor value. So you can do this over here. Can anybody help me? I know one person, which is Ahlan. Yes. USD is equal to math dot floor. Yes. So it should give me. Let me disable this first and run and see the results. First of all, I've got dirhams 245.55. Today's rate 3.71. 66.19. 245.55. Let's do this. When I do with math.floor, what should I get? Over here. What? 66 only. 66.00 or 66. Math.floor. So I did this math.floor. Save, run. What was it? 245? I don't remember. 3.71 and calculate. So it's 66.0. So this is ceiling and floor. Okay, so I've